Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Hey, do, 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 do. Hey, y'all. Jumping in. Right now, I am just want to come on here and talk about financial self care because I feel like it's something that we don't really realize is very vital to us or even plays a huge role. So, we're going to go ahead and get into it. That's our topic for today. Let's go. Hey, so yes, we're talking about financial self care today because believe it or not, the way you feel about yourself is going to determine how you feel and how you use your money. So, me personally, this is something that I had different stages that I realized or that I learned about as I went on through my journey. So, I asked the question online today and then I asked it yesterday is have you ever been peer pressured into spending money that you didn't have? And some people say yes, some people like no, get somebody else to do it. It depends on the person. But I want to explain to you a few of the ways that you can get peer pressured into having somebody else basically do it for you or having somebody else um peer pressure you into spending money that you don't have. One of the ways that you can get peer pressured into spending money that you don't have is when someone asks you for money. And a lot of times we are openly given that money because we want to be the person that says yes to them or we want to be the person who gives it to them. Sometimes we have our own selfish reasons that maybe we feel like they're going to make it somewhere and this is us making sure that we were a part of the reason why they made it where they are. However the selfish reasons might be or whatever they might be, it's important to know and pay attention to the fact that a lot of times we give out money and we say yes to those things, and that's a way that we can get pressured into giving out money that we don't have. Another way you can get pressured into giving money that you don't have is if you have somebody who wants you to purchase things or buy things, or they're trying to get you to get something or do something for them, and you may not have the money to do it at that time. So it's very important to look at it because all of that is a part of your own financial self care. Financial self care is you preventing your finances to suffer or your finances to take a loss because of someone else. This can even be Amazon. Like, let's keep it real. Amazon can peer pressure you into buying things that you don't need. And so I wanted to come on here and talk about financial self care, what that looks like, how I experienced it myself, and like how I dealt with it and had to go and create boundaries. When people ask you for something of yours and they feel entitled to it and you feel pressured to let them use it or you feel pressured to let them do it, even though financially you can't really afford to, that's a way that you can get pressured into spending money that you don't have. When you Okay, so let me tell my story and tell you how because I asked this question on here. Have you ever been peer pressured into spending money you don't have? So I had a friend and I told my friend that, she called me, and this was years ago. So let me first just say that this happened when I was like in my 20s, like a while ago. And I had a friend who she called me and she asked me, did I want to go to breakfast? And I told her, no, I can't go to breakfast because I don't have no money. Like, I was keeping it real. Like, now they call it loud budgeting. I've been loud budgeting before it had a term called loud budgeting because I ain't never scared to say, if I don't have it, bro, I don't have it. Like, I'm not going to go to breakfast with you when I know I got bills to pay. So I told her, no, I don't have it. I'll go to breakfast with you another time. Like, it's okay. I'm good. She tell me, don't worry about it, friend. I got you, friend. So when somebody tell you they got you, what that mean to you? What does that mean to you when somebody tell you, oh, I got you? That mean that they paying for it, right? That mean that you just told them that you didn't have no money, which means that they're paying for it if they invite you still out. Y'all let me know in the chat. if what does it mean to you if your friend, and this is your friend, like you talk to this person every day, y'all cool, y'all tight. What does it mean to you when your friend tell you, I got you? What does that mean to you? Like, how are you going to take that if somebody tell you? And y'all can feel free to like this, share this live, like this, drop in your comments, share me, like tell me. I want to hear what y'all got to say. If I tell you and I'm your friend and we talk every day and we cool, and you tell me you ain't got no money to go out to breakfast, what is, and you tell me, oh, don't worry about it, it's cool, I got you. What that mean? What's that mean to y'all? Because to me, that means you got me. That means you paying for it. I'm not going to have to come out of pocket because I just told you I didn't have nothing to come out of pocket with. You know what I mean? So tell her that. I told her that I didn't have any money to go to breakfast. She say, oh, cool. Okay, cool. Don't worry about it. I got you. We go to the restaurant, get to the restaurant. We eat, we fine, we dining in. Now, I will say too, this was like in my late 20s. So this was at least 10 years ago. So food wasn't that expensive. You know what I mean? Food wasn't that expensive. So we sat there, we ate, we cool, we fine. When we finished eating, she like, oh, you can leave a tip. And I'm thinking in my head, like, what you mean I can leave the tips? And I say that this is years ago to bring up the fact of the cost of food or the cost at the restaurant is not going to be close to what it would cost right now. Like legit, a meal, $10 could get you a breakfast meal. You know what I mean? Back in the day. So if I'm telling you I don't have the $10 for the breakfast meal, how I got money for the tip? How I got money for that? You know what I mean? So to me, I got offended because it's like, I just told you I didn't have money. And regardless of whether you think I have money or you feel like I should have money, that don't mean I have it. So when I told her I didn't, I guess she took that as in I couldn't pay for the meal, but paying for my meal would have been the same as leaving a tip for the table. So she told me leave a tip for the table. And I felt appalled because I felt like, well, if I just told you I ain't had no money and you just decided that I still should be able to pay for something. So to me, that was me being peer pressured into spending money that I didn't have to spend. And when I told her I didn't have money for breakfast, that don't mean that I don't have no money. That means I didn't have money to go to breakfast. The money I have, it could have been for bills. It could have been for maybe a trip or something. Like it could have been something else that I obviously had that money set to the side for. So that's one way right there that you can be, but you have to learn how to just say no. And at the end of the day, no is a complete sentence. At the end of the day, no is a complete sentence, and you can say no, and you don't have to give no full explanation about it. You don't have to break down to them why you saying no. Well, see, you ain't got to do all of that because you don't owe all of them that. Because you should be loyal to your wallet. And I don't mean that in the sense that you have to be rude to people, disrespectful to them, or anything like that. But when you are on a journey and you trying to get your finances together and you working on your money, everybody's not going to understand. Everybody's not going to get it. And it's not meant for everybody because it's not everybody's journey. It's your journey. So it's not meant for everybody to understand why you're doing what you're doing. You're going to get people who are going to discourage you. You're going to get people who are going to try to knock you off your square. You're going to get people who are going to try to knock you off your goals and make you mess up. Because unfortunately, we have them people around us that do that. But it's important for you to keep your eyes and ears open to notice who those people are. And I'm not saying that you have to completely cut people off and don't talk to them, be rude, never ever to talk to them again. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is that it's important for you to realize and notice that. And so this is why I'm having a free webinar July 30th, because it's important for us when we're on our journey to achieve financial stability. We have to learn how to take care of our own finances and practice self-care financially. Now, it was a journey for me to learn this. I was a single parent at this time, and it was something that affected me because now I'm spending money that I don't have. When I'm spending money that I don't have, this is less money I got for my household. This is less money I got to take care of my responsibilities. This is less money I have to do the things that I need to do. But this person, of course, is not thinking about that. I'm the one who has to think about that. They don't. So I say all this to say, another way that you can practice financial self-care is when you sit and you think about what you need to do, and you think about what goals, and you say you have your vision, and you say, okay, I want to do this and I want to do that, then look at your statements. Look at your credit card statements. Look at your bank statements. Do they match what you said that you wanted to do? Huh? Do they? Do your credit card and bank statements match what you said you wanted for yourself? What you outlined that you wanted to do? Do they match? Or do they look like you not trying to do that and you doing something else? Tell the truth. Like, we're not here to judge nobody. Nobody's perfect with their finances, not even me. But it's very important for you to be real with yourself and be open and honest with yourself. Like I said, I'm having a free webinar on July 30th. These are the type of things we're going to talk about, because I feel like these are conversations that need to be had. It's great for people to get on here and talk about what you need to do. And I do this and you do this. We think different. How about I want to do both? How about I don't want to choose between the two? But what does that look like? How is that possible? So one of the things that I had to do to really make me learn and make me start to practice my own financial self-care is when it kept leaving me out to dry, and it kept causing me to either be short on my bills, or cause me stress financially, or cause me to be behind on something that I was supposed to do. And then when I went and looked at it, it wasn't because of something that I did. It was because of something that I got. And then a lot of times when you get peer pressure into purchasing things or spending money that you don't have, a lot of times it be for things that you don't even need. Like, it's still sitting in your closet right now with the tag on it because you never really used it because you didn't need it. You got peer pressure into purchasing it. So I want people to be mindful and understand, like, the real, you know what I mean? Neglecting your own financials and not practicing financial self-care, not putting yourself first. Another way that you can practice financial self-care is putting money to the side for your goals. Like I said, when you look at your money and you look at your finances, do they match what you said you wanted for yourself? If you say you wanted to have this much in savings because you want to buy a house, or you're going to need a new car soon, or you want to go on this vacation, or whatever it might be, do your finances match that? If I go look at your finances, is it going to show that you're putting so much in savings every time you get paid? Is it going to show that you put this money in this travel fund for next time so you can go on this trip you want to go on? Those are the type of things you should see. And it's not to say that you got to wait till you making $500, because you can start saving with $25. You can start saving with $10 if you really want to be real. But it's up to you to start creating that consistent habit, because that's what's really going to help you get where you're trying to go. Okay. Now, for me personally, what really helped me finally make that decision is me getting tired of being broke and tired of my paycheck being gone, and realizing it wasn't because I was spending the money on the things that I needed to. It wasn't because I wanted it to be gone. It was because I was spending things I didn't need to spend on. And then when it came time for me to have money for myself, I had none. Because when I finished spending the money that I got pressured into spending, now I still got to pay my bills. Now I still got to pay the damn responsibilities that I have. So it's like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I got so frustrated. You know what I mean? I got so frustrated, and I got so tired of like seeking that new raise, or always looking to get this overtime, always looking to get this new next thing, or I need this money, or I need more money. And it's like, okay, I need to look within too. I need to look in and see, what can I do? What am I going to do? And what I got down to realize was it was reasons why I was easily getting peer pressured into those things. Hi, how you doing? I realized it was reasons why I was getting peer pressured into that. I realized that. Trying to say hi to y'all. Sorry. But yeah, so I realized the reasons were things that I had to see, because when I first started this so-called financial journey, I followed the steps. I just said, okay, they said do this to budget. They said do this to, now I just got to take these steps. And I would do good and I would be feeling good about myself and my chest sticking out and feeling proud. And then I would go right back to the same damn situation, right back to the same thing. And I'm like, okay, something got to give because I was just doing good. But what I realized, like I said, is it's more than just the steps. There are things that happened in my childhood that was affecting my finances. There are things that happened in my adulthood that I was affecting my finances. And I had to get down to the root of those things before I could make progress into creating my new financial future. So what I realized, just to give you all an example, is that growing up as the youngest of three, I rarely had things of my own. Growing up, I always had to share, or like I got the hand-me-downs, and I was very proud to take ownership of I got it or I have it. So if somebody like put me in a predicament like that, even though I had already told her that I didn't have the money to go to breakfast, the fact that she did that at the restaurant, my mindset, instead of me doubling down and saying, look, I told you I didn't have this money, I can't do this, I went ahead and paid it. And instead, I just went about my way after. You see what I'm saying? That might not have been the right way to handle that. It might have been a better way that I possibly could have been able to do it. But at the time I was young, like, I'm not here to say like that I'm perfect. I'm here to say that I still make money mistakes just like anybody else. And this to me was one of them, because allowing somebody else to pressure me into spending money, now I'm short this money. Now I'm thinking about this money that I just spent that I know I did not have to spend. But it's a lesson learned. And now that I have learned it, I'm here to share with you all. So ways that you can actually practice financial self-care is going to first take you realizing where you don't, is you opening your mind and being able to understand when you don't. So one, it's going to take you knowing what is going on with your money. Do you know where your money is going? Like, I mean, just be real. This is on live, so it's not like y'all have to answer me or y'all have to tell me, but just thinking to yourself while you're on here on this live, do you know where your money is going? Do you know exactly what's coming in and what's going out? Because in order for you to mentally be okay with your finances and get that heavy weight that's on your chest lifted off your chest, it's going to take you having some idea where your money is and where it's coming from. And then you're going to practice self-care by actually taking that money and putting it towards what you want to do with your life. And that's whatever that is and whatever that looks like for you. I'm not one of those personal finance people. I'm not here to tell you what you need to do. That's for you to decide what you want. My job is to help you get there. Like I tell people all the time, there is not, my job is to help you. I'm not here. I know a lot of people come on here and they talk about savings, or they talk about people selling things on here. I'm not just selling courses. I'm selling a chance to change your life. I'm selling the opportunity for you to get your finances where they need to be, so you can have more time for yourself. And this webinar, actually, I'm not selling it all. It's a free webinar that you can sign up for in my bio. But the webinar is free. The webinar is free. It's completely free. I'm a firm believer in, I sell some things, I give some things for free. I don't charge for everything. I do like to put resources out that helps others. I do want us all to do better with our money. Obviously, I can't do everything for free because all of these platforms and running a business is not free. And my time, of course, costs money. And I'm living in the same economy that my customers and my students are living in. So I need money, but I do things are free. So I'm doing a free webinar on July 30th. Like I said, you can sign up in my bio. Going to be on the 30th. I think I put it for like 30 to 45 minutes, but I ain't gonna lie to you, it probably is. Yes, ma'am, I understand. Exactly. Like, I would love to be on here and just be able to do everything for free, and I used to honestly do everything for free, but like, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And the reality is, like I said, I'm in the same economy that you are in. So I have to continuously take classes, I'm going to a summit in the 14th to the 17th. I'm going to a summit and I'm going to be taking professional development classes so I can continue to learn all of that stuff. Every time you go to a conference or a summit, you spending at least $1,000, bro. Like between airfare, hotel, you got to have your food the whole time you're there, and then the ticket to the actual conference, you're spending about $1,000 each time. So that's money that I'm putting in so that I can continue to learn the new, tricks of the trade, or learn more information and get more into the wellness part of money. Because the realization is money is not about money. I know we get on here, we talk about budgeting and self-care and all that, but at the end of the day, it's not really about money. It's your mindset. And it's going to take a lot of deep work for you to change your mindset in order for you to make the changes that you need to make when it comes to your money. It's not one or the other. They both go. They both go hand in hand. Do you know anyone to help with credit repair? So I do know somebody. She's actually on here. Her name on here is, what is her name on here? I think it's Wanda Bell is her name on here. But if you go on Instagram, it's Bell Financial Services, and that's BELLE Financial Services. That's a good person, trustworthy, vetted, licensed and insured. Because that's the thing too. I don't deal with people who are not vetted, and I'm not going to recommend anybody who's not vetted, because I want people to get their money together all the way around. And there's too many people out here who give crazy information. And especially if you're dealing with credit, you want somebody who business is licensed and they're certified, because you want somebody that if they do something wrong, they got somebody who can get them. Like, just being real. Like, you want somebody like I said, I'm going to conferences. I got another conference I'm going to in October. Those conferences are ways that I continue to learn more information so that I can really help my people. Like, I'm not just up here, I'm gonna just keep on coming up here and keep making, TikToks. I go to trainings. I'm about to get another certification this year, because I am very serious about learning and continuing to learn as I learn more. You know what I'm saying? So I would say go with her. Like I say, her business is licensed. I believe she's out of Maryland. Don't quote me. I believe she's out of Maryland, but me and her both actually graduated from the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women program together. So yes, she's legit. And but I will tell you, she's not like, oh, I guess you could say get rich quick. Oh, let me clear everything off your credit today. Like, it's going to be real, actual credit repair, because the reality is you don't want to just get everything wiped off. You want to learn how credit works so that you can make sure you can keep it good. You want to make sure that past that time, if something happens, you know how to work it or play the game so that your credit can stay up. Because let's be real, life don't always life. And nothing we can do from stopping life from lifing. So it's better to know how to work it and understand how credit works. So later on, maybe your score might go down 20 points, but now you know exactly what to do to get it back where it is. So I think that that's a very crucial part of it, instead of just saying, here's my credit, do something about it. Like, take the time to learn more. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons I'm going to be going live more. So definitely drop topics that you want me to talk about in the chats, and I'll go live about, on them, because I just want to, again, like you say, have information I can have out here to give, and coupled with what I have. And then I just want to provide resources. It's a way for me to provide resources. It's not the same as like a course where I got to build out a whole script and curriculum and all of that. I can come on here and talk about the things y'all want me to talk about. So definitely. And then if you're looking for down to earth money and home buying tips, definitely follow me, because what I'm going to bring is more practical. I keep it real. Like, I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm not here to shame you about your money mistakes, because I made money mistakes. And I always share with people the money mistakes that I made to show you, like, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes, because the reality is, how are we supposed to know? Like, let's just be real for a second. How was we supposed to know? And even in reality, if you did have a parent who taught you about personal finance, the economy that they taught you about, I mean, the economy that they taught you about back then, that ain't the same economy that it didn't economy like the economy is economy in today. The economy that's economy in today, they couldn't have prepared you for. Because it's unprecedented. It's stuff that we wouldn't have even known to prepare you for. Oh, okay. So her is Bell Financial Services on Instagram. That's her name, and Bell is Belle. Bell Financial Services. She's on here. I think it might be Wanda Lacey is her name on here, but I don't know that for sure. So I'd rather give you the one I do know, which is Bell, Belle Financial Services on Instagram. That I know for a fact is her tag on Instagram. So hopefully you got that. And while you're here, make sure you like and follow. But yeah, so those are the type of things that I like to help us do, because a lot of times we feel like we're supposed to be a certain place in life, and we feel like, oh, well, I should have had this accomplished by now. Or we just sulk because we feel like we messed up this, or oh, we messed up that. And the reality is, that's okay. Because you tell me one millionaire, billionaire, whoever that didn't make any money mistakes. You tell me one person that never made any money mistakes, because I don't, nobody. Everybody has made mistakes. It's a part of the game. And especially for a lot of us, because if you didn't have anybody ahead of you to teach you what mistakes they made, and you didn't have anybody ahead of you to sit you down and show you like, okay, first you're going to make a left, you're going to turn at the red building on the corner, then you're going to make a right, then how is you, like, you literally making this up as you go. You literally are with the chisel, goddamn it, making it yourself. So how you supposed to get everything right the first time? That's just not realistic. And I feel like we hold ourselves to unrealistic goals. And because we hold ourselves to unrealistic goals, we start avoiding our finances because we didn't meet those unrealistic goals that we created for ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So we have to get that thought out of our head that we can't make money mistakes, because guess what? Even after you learn about finances, you still gonna make mistakes, because that's a part of life. That's honestly a great way to learn, because baby, when you make, as a real estate investor, when you make an expensive mistake, I promise you, you will learn how not to make that mistake again. And that's just, again, keeping it real. You're going to learn how not to make that mistake again. You're not going to, you know what I mean? Oh, well, let me just do that again because, you know, you're not getting money like that to do that. So the reality is we have to seek knowledge. We have to find a way to get the knowledge and information and let go of that mentality that we can't make a mistake. Because if you never make a mistake, that means you never tried. So for me personally, when it comes to financial self-care, I made mistakes. I've been made a fool of. I've been embarrassed because of something happened or something I didn't have money about. But for one, I had to learn to set boundaries. I had to learn to set boundaries that if I don't have it to give, and even if I don't have it to give, mean that I have the money, but not for this particular person, then like it's like that meme say, yeah, you saw me spending money. That meant I had money for me. I didn't have money for you. You know what I mean? So you have to learn to practice that self-care over your finances to be able to put that block up. Like, we're not spending no more because this money is set for me. The next thing where I feel like we need to practice financial self-care is sometimes we be more loyal to these brands than we be loyal to myself. Yes, she's on TikTok. I just don't know her TikTok name. I know her Instagram name. Yes, she is. She on TikTok. I just don't know her name on TikTok. I know her name. Oh, okay, go through. If you can, you can share her thing in the chat for somebody else, because I know somebody else asked about her. So feel free to share it in chat. I'm not one of them people. Like, I'm not trying to, hoard. I want everybody to win. So definitely feel free to share it. Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yeah, so, one of the other ways that I feel like we don't show up for ourselves financially that's very important if you want to practice financial self-care is, okay, look, y'all own the money. That's what I'm talking about. But you know what? This is TikTok. Baby, TikTok can find anybody. TikTok got the best people. Like, baby, we could find anybody on TikTok. But if you're showing up for everybody else, but you're not showing up for yourself, that's another way that we don't practice financial self-care. And I explain to you what I mean. If you're one of those people that when it comes to complimenting everybody else, you own the money. But girls, okay, sis, with the red shirt, like you giving compliments, you ready to, rain compliments on them. You ready to talk about how great they are and what they do but you feel awkward and uncomfortable when somebody talking good about you, or you feel awkward and uncomfortable about talking about what you're good at, especially if you're one of those people that everybody comes to you and tells you, oh, you're good at this or you're good at that. Believe it or not, the way you spend your money is reflecting that. Believe it or not, because when the way you feel about yourself, your self-confidence or lack thereof, your self-esteem or lack thereof plays out in how you spend money and how you use money. So if you're one of those people who you are happy to compliment somebody else, happy to lift somebody else up, happy to do for others and make sure everybody else is straight and make sure everybody got it and it's good and it's all going smoothly and they have a wonderful time. But when it comes to you quick to put your stuff on the back burner. The slightest thing go wrong, you're like, oh, well, I could just cancel mine. And then that's one of the things that you have to work on to improve your finances, because the chances are you do the same thing with your money. You spending money on everybody else before you spend it on yourself. And sometimes you're spending money on other people that you don't have to spend. And what I mean, and I want to be clear on what I mean when I say you don't have to spend, that does not necessarily mean you broke just because I'm saying you don't have to spend. When I say you don't have it to spend, I mean in the sense that you got goals out here that you're not putting money towards. So if you're putting money towards something else that's not your bills or not something that you have to buy, and you're not putting money towards your goals, that is an example of you not showing up for yourself financially. That is an example of you not practicing self-care financially. That is an example of you not putting yourself first. And we don't realize that things show up in our finances like that. We don't realize that seeing your auntie or your uncle show up and having a great time and always looking like they got money and having a nice car and looking like they got a nice job, that can play out in your finances when you get older. So we're going to talk about a lot of things on July 30th at this webinar. Like I said, if you want to sign up, the link is in my bio. But I want us to stop thinking about money as dollars and cents and stop thinking that, oh, well, you skip this cup of coffee, your money problems are solved, because it's so much deeper than that. It's so much more to it. And if you wonder when you already tried to budget or you tried to do your finances and you feel like this just ain't for me, I'm just bad with money, I'm not good at money, like, don't say that. Get that thought out your head, because that does not mean that you're bad with money. That does not mean that you're just not good with money. It just means that maybe you haven't found a method that works for you, because there's more than one way to do it. It's not just a cookie cutter solution where if I do it this way, you can do it that way. You have to learn what way works for you. Personal finance is just that. It's personal. So what you do that might work for you might not work for somebody else. You have different things that motivate you. You have different goals you're working on. You have a different set of finances. So why would everything you do be the same as somebody else when none of your characteristics or your situation is the same as them? It's not going to be the same. Point is simple. It's just not going to be the same. So if that's true, that means the way that you attack it or the way that you handle it cannot be the same. It has to be different if you want a different result. So a lot of times we look at things on social media, we look at somebody doing something and we think like, oh, I want what they're doing. Let me do what they're doing. No. And that's why I don't teach people like, oh, well, you need to do this. You need to do that. What do you want to do? That's the first question. What do you want to do? Where are you trying to go? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? That's the first question. In any coaching session I do, any budget strategy session, where are you trying to go? Because my job is to help you get there. And I can't help you get where you're trying to go. And I never even asked you. How can I help you accomplish your financial goals? And I never even asked you what your financial goals was. That ain't right. If I'm helping you transform your finances and fix your finances, and I never asked you what you wanted fixed, I never asked you what you wanted them to do or what your why or what your motivation was. And I was doing because I volunteer sometimes, so I was volunteering for this program, and I was doing the financial coaching, and some people complained. It was like, well, why do we do vision boards for the first session? And they were saying that they didn't like that we did vision boards, and that they felt like, it took time away from us doing the actual budgeting activities and da 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 da. And I had to break down and say, like, well, I completely understand why we're doing that, because you can't get nowhere unless you know where you're going. You see what I'm saying? You cannot get where you're going unless you know where it is you're trying to go. It's going to be real damn hard. I'm just saying. It's going to be real damn hard to get there. So I'm always going to start off with your vision or a vision board, whether it be virtual, physical, depending on you and what type of person you are. That's what we're going to use. We're going to use whatever's going to motivate you the most, because different people are different. Like, that's what customize means. But I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I really just wanted to come on here and talk about financial self-care. And let me just talk about the changes after I started to set financial boundaries. I started to move in accordance with what my goals and my visions for myself was, which means that I wasn't just doing stuff because I wanted to do it. I would stop and ask myself, okay, well, how does this align with my goals? If I do this, how is this going to help me get here? And if this not going to help me get here, why am I doing this again? And it's okay to sometimes do stuff because you want to have fun. It's okay. Like, you're going to have moments, you're going to have, hell, I'm finishing this up and I'm going to make some content and I'm going to go relax. That's what my goal is for today, because, baby, I done did a lot between these last 2 days. I have been busy. I done changed my air filter, cabin filter, got a oil change, put a sprinkler in outside with a timer, all type of stuff. I was busy. So I deserve a break. But those are the type of things that we have to learn. Set financial boundaries, okay? And then make sure we are moving in accordance with where we want to go. And once I did that, once I started doing that, it became a little bit easier. The weight kind of got lifted off my chest, because think about it. If I know I have to get to this certain place in a month, and if every day I make progress and walk a little further and walk a little further, eventually I'm going to get there, right? Eventually I'm going to get to that place that I'm trying to get. But it feels way better to walk a little bit every day than to wait to the last 2 days of the month. And now I got to walk this whole goddamn journey in the last 2 days. That shit's stressful. It creates anxiety. It's going to have you stress the hell out leading up to that time. And you're going to be like, boy, you're going to be so relieved when you finally just get there. You know what I'm saying? It takes away from the whole thing, as opposed to you working slowly towards that goal every day. So that's what I learned when I started to shift. Then I learned, the more I start to say no and not feel the need to explain. And I don't want y'all to think that I mean that I'm saying like, no, I ain't doing nothing for nobody. Oh, y'all, not saying that. I'm saying creating boundaries, that if I have this money set for something, I'm not rearranging my financial goals just to accommodate somebody else, is what I'm saying. You know how much better I felt? It's like, and with every no, it was like a release. You know what I'm saying? It was like a release of energy. And it started to feel better. And I started like, okay. And it got easier. As time went on, it got easier. Okay. So once I got to that point, I'm like, oh, okay. And so I slowly start to continue to make other changes. So you can make all the changes that you need to make at one time. Personally, I like to do the things gradually. I don't like to make all the changes at one time, because I feel like it's hard to sustain them when you make them all at one time. But of course, different people are different. Some people can just go cold turkey and be good. But me, I feel like as you go along your journey, the changes that you need to make will change. Because as you reach each different step, it's like, oh, okay, And sometimes your goals might change too. So that's why it's good to go about the process that way. And you can just have a much better personal life, achieve better financial health. You just feel a lot better when your finances are in order. So definitely, if you are looking to improve your financial self-care practices, sign up for the free webinar. It's on July 30th. The link is in my bio. Go ahead and sign up. It's completely free. Not gonna lie to y'all, full disclosure, I am gonna tell you about my products and services while you are on there, but definitely still show up so that you can get all the information. There's no obligation to purchase anything. I'm not gonna pressure you into spending money. But show up, get the information, ask your questions, and get the help that you want and need so you can get the financial stability that you desire and deserve. I feel like a lot of times that we take care of other people and we neglect ourselves. And I feel like finances is definitely one of them. Like, we'll be the MVP of everything in our life. And then when it comes to finances, we just, and then we go into this mode of where we critique ourselves because we already are our own worst critic. So then when it comes to this, now that you feel like, oh, well, I'm behind on this, or I should have done this, or I should have, like, I have customers or students, whatever you want to call them. I typically call them my students. And I call them my goalies because they're gold diggers. And they'll feel like, oh, well, I know I wanted to buy a house this year. Yes, you did. But let's look at the reality. Is that what you want to do? You got to look at what's going on. Your first mind should not be to automatically beat yourself up or tear yourself down. Maybe that wasn't meant for you. Maybe it's something bigger and better that's for you ahead. Like, work on your goals as they come. So I feel like when we get into that point where we start beating ourselves up and start critiquing ourselves, we're most likely to start avoiding our finances at whole. And that means that you possibly not looking at emails, not answering phone calls, not checking the mail, all of those things, not checking your bank account, because all of those things are reminding you of your financial situation. And to you, that's like reminding you of something bad. But the reality is that's not going to help. The more you avoid it, all it is going to do is grow bigger. It's going to be like a snowball. And you're going to avoid it. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get bigger. And that's what's going to keep happening. So the best thing to do is like rip that goddamn Band-Aid off, baby. Rip it off and just deal with it. Because at the end of the day, once you get that first handle on what's going on, trust me, you are going to feel so much better just being in the know. Because think about it. How fearful are we when we don't know something? Let's say you get a test result from the doctor and it's like your TH2P is low. And it's like, what's that? So then you start Googling, and now Google telling you that you're about to die. And now you don't know what to do, what to say, and you're scared. And you don't. When you talk to the doctor, you're able to ask that doctor questions, and now you get to learn what that is and what that really means. And you learn that it's not even anything that big in the first place. And you start to simmer down a little bit because now you know what's going on. You know what you need to do to improve it. There's nothing left to do but to execute it. Okay? That's exactly what you're doing with your finances. When you avoid it and you're not paying attention to it and you're scared of it, so you're not dealing with it, it's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get worse. So you have to look at it in the face like, look, who gonna check me, boo? You know what I'm saying? You have to look at the face and deal with it, because if you don't, who will? Who gonna come do it for you? Who gonna come do it for you? Like, let's be real. If you don't do it, who will? So that's why we got to get up and get stuff done. At this point, it's 6:06, y'all. I think it's about that time. Thank y'all for stopping by. Definitely hit that like and follow button. Like, follow, and subscribe over here on YouTube and all these other channels, wherever you are watching this. And I'm having a free webinar July 30th. Sign up with the link in my bio on whatever platform you are watching. I actually can put the link in the chat on Facebook. On Instagram, you're going to have to just go into my bio because you can't put links and comments on Instagram. But go in my bio. The link is there. Sign up. Bring your questions. Bring your notebook because we about to get down to it. Okay, we're going to have some real conversations is what we're going to do. All right? Any questions? If y'all have any questions, go ahead and ask them now and I'll answer them. But I'm about to go ahead and let y'all go for the day. Okay. No questions. Great job, Mika. Comment on your post. Oh, let me go here. Mention your comment. Boop. Or maybe I'll come on here and do some co-working sessions. Maybe I'll do that because I definitely be having a lot to do. Like anybody on here create content? Because that's what I'm about to do, create content for my pages. I gave myself to 6:30, but since I was on here, I'm gonna give myself to 7 o'clock to create some more posts, and then I'll make some more posts tomorrow, first thing when I wake up. Well, all right. Y'all have a good one. Let me do my outro.